What's going on, Reject Nation? I am Greg.
I'm John.
We're gonna watch this great video, I'm assuming great, from the channel called The Things. Actors forced to face their worst fears during filming. I'm a big fan of facing your fears, false evidence appearing real. Something a friend of mine named John Kramer once told me. Speaking of John Kramer, Spiral, guys! The, what is it, 8th installment from the Book of Saw,
the 9th Saw,
actually,
yeah.
9th.
7th Jigsaw, now Spiral.
That's right. We did it. We did it.
Here.
That's why they're glad we're
Finally
sponsoring the video so we can do the math.
Like, when are you gonna get to part 9 so we can finally shout you guys out?
The Book of Saw, Spiral, available wherever you can rent a movie. And John and I, we actually were big fans of the Saw franchise, so we were pretty excited to be like, yeah, of course, we'd love to shout you guys out. Yeah. We saw it in the theaters. We had a really, really fun time with this movie. It's surprisingly more fun than I expected it to be.
And also disgusting and gory and gross in all the ways that you're hoping for.
Chris Rock is funny, and it also has a bit of a Seven vibe to it. But a movie like Spiral that sets your characters up in these contraptions where you have to face something within yourself that's physically scary to overcome. That's kind of like every actor I'm assuming is gonna be in this video. So guys, Spiral, available video on demand at Greg's home, John's home, is playing here on loop.
Come
renting
watch it with
it
us.
every 2 hours. Yep. We pay for it ourselves. You guys should do the same thing too.
Check out Spiral from the Book of Saw.
Anyway, let's watch this video.
I know I seem really tough, but I am afraid of heights. That's the one thing I'm afraid of.
Action heroes and huge stars might seem like they live their lives with absolutely no fear. But it turns out that even the biggest celebs aren't brave about everything. That's right, a ton of actors are stricken with some very serious phobias, but the best ones never let that stand in the way of their dream job.
Phobias with an F?
Even if their dream job is deep underwater or at the top of a terrifyingly tall building. These amazing actors pushed through their phobias and conquered them for their most iconic roles.
Got a horse phobia.
I'm really glad that I went through the process of auditioning because I felt like, okay, I earned this now.
You might think that someone who has been an A-list celebrity since they were 9 years old, like Emma Watson, fears nothing. But when it came time to audition for Belle in Beauty and the Beast, one huge fear almost made her throw in the towel: singing. Emma hadn't sung since she was 12, and was absolutely terrified of having to sing in front of anyone, let alone millions and millions of fans. She even hated doing karaoke.
That was mildly terrifying.
But knowing that her dream job was on the line, she leaned into her fear, challenged herself, and completely conquered.
Awesome.
You know, I wish I could say...
Whoa, hold up here. So damn, Emma?
So she conquered a fear and got one of the biggest roles in like a Disney reboot possible.
$1 billion.
Yeah, man, jeez.
That's inspiring.
Absolutely, man.
I know some like real singers criticized what she did, but for
you know what?
For people like me, I'm like, Emma Watson did a pretty great job.
Yeah, especially for not singing ostensibly for so many years and being terrified to even approach the role. Like,
That's bold. I'm glad it's bold of her to audition, so that way she feels, you know, yeah, that's a smart way to go about it. Like, okay, I auditioned, so because I auditioned, they picked me post-audition, that must mean I'm right for the job. That's what the audition process is what I have described for you.
You know, I wish I could say it was a little fluffy to do, but it was that intense.
If we already had a fear of tight and closed spaces, we probably wouldn't jump at the chance to make a movie about being buried alive. But that's exactly what Ryan Reynolds did in 2010's Buried. If you don't remember, the entire movie takes place inside a sealed coffin, with Reynolds trapped inside. During the shoot,
his Deadpool
he said that he
jokes.
actually had safe words that he would shout to be pulled out if he needed it. But the majority Spanish-speaking crew didn't always understand and would leave him in there during a panic.
How terrifying.
The shoot was so rough that he says he was both physically and emotionally changed after filming finished.
And the last day of shooting was was unlike anything I've ever experienced in my life.
I love watching just those little snippets of serious actor Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, watching all the like bombastic, snarky comedy like wiped from him.
Even in just the interview process, you know, where
Yeah.
he constantly has that sort of aura about him.
Yeah.
And then here he's really showing like, you know, this was a traumatizing
Wow, you were
experience. This was
impacted by
difficult.
this. Yeah.
But damn, yeah, I miss this Ryan Reynolds, because he's brilliant in this movie. He's
Absolutely.
brilliant in that film.
Underrated
It's a
movie.
damn good film if you haven't seen it. I feel like it bodes well for you if there's an actual fear and you got to be an actor and do it. You're
Oh,
more
yeah,
real
then you're
performance,
gonna
right?
be
Like,
so
it's-
real.
If you're afraid of this, then that's great. Yeah,
Yeah,
if you're
yeah.
part of it is to be afraid.
Even though Anthony Mackie's Marvel character Falcon does a lot of flying, it turns out that the actor actually has one huge fear of his own: heights.
No way!
Yep, that means
Hell
that every
yeah.
time he had to soar through the air or leap off of a tall building,
No
he was
way!
totally terrified every single time. One time, he even had to leap off of a bridge and land right on top of a car. Sure, he had wires to make sure he lived through the
That's
experience.
still
but it
terrifying.
definitely
Jump.
wasn't easy.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
The
dude.
new Captain America.
And that's even harder because at least for someone like Ryan Reynolds, it's like, okay, you can put that all into the role, but for Anthony Mackie, you got to pretend like this is just any other day for you.
This is where you're confident. This is
Yeah,
where you
exactly.
shine. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's easy to chalk up like, oh, they got wires. It's still. It's
You're
like,
still doing a high fall, and it's
I'm
still
afraid of
scary.
heights, but when I go on a roller coaster, I'm terrified. You know, and most of the time, people don't die on roller coasters, but once in a while they do, due to high blood pressure.
or malfunctions.
What?
You know.
The bit's over. We're gonna jump cut to right when I say what, then we go into the video.
Editor's
Yeah,
note.
right?
yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, we learnt horse riding. I don't know if you'd done it before, but yeah.
Robert Pattinson had to interact with a lot of animals for the 2011 film.
I'm
Water for
afraid of
Elephants.
horses.
I'm afraid of
It wasn't
giraffes.
the giant elephants that made him nervous. It was the horses. It turns out that the actor has a long-standing fear of horses.
What?
And
That's
one
crazy.
scene in particular freaked him out the most. In it, he had to get knocked over by a full-grown
Oh.
stallion, and he did not have a good time on set that day.
I'm excited for Robert Pattinson to be Batman now.
Yeah, especially.
Can't handle horses.
But he can handle all the crime in Gotham City.
Yeah.
Let's hope that we get Batman upon a horse in this movie.
I know.
Ben Affleck style.
It's happened before.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Terrified of riding Rusty. I hate it.
Apparently, fear of horses runs in the Twilight family, because Rob's co-star Kristen Stewart also hates being around the four-legged giants. During Snow White and the Huntsman, she knew that she was going to have to learn to ride,
What are all
and
these
was
fear
completely
of horses?
terrified at the thought.
They're afraid
Even
of
though
horse
she
riding?
took lessons and worked with some of the best trainers in the world, she never really got over her fear, and said that she never wanted to ride again after the
Wow.
shoot was over.
What? That's crazy. Some people are afraid of horses.
Everyone's afraid of something.
Shailene Woodley has said that she is very afraid of heights, but actually loves leaning into her fears in order to get the adrenaline rush that she loves. So when it came
Yeah,
time
that's
to
why I
climb
kill
to the
people.
top of the Ferris wheel in Chicago for Divergent, she ran into the challenge head on. Even though she was freezing cold and very uncomfortable, she loved the experience and used that fear to help push herself to the top.
See, to me, that's inspiring, because the only way you can really grow is to face your fears. I once heard an acronym, false evidence appearing real. Only way to grow is step outside of your comfort zone, people.
Yeah, be like Shailene Woodley.
Be like Shailene Woodley and
not-
Robert Pattinson. Go pet a horse.
Yeah, not Kristen Stewart, though.
No.
Gave up.
The scariest stunt I did a 20-foot free fall jump.
Rebel Wilson might be completely fearless when it comes to her comedy, but when it comes to heights, that is an entirely different story. So, in Pitch Perfect 3, when she and Anna Kendrick had to do a 20-foot freefall, she needed a little help from her friend. According to Rebel, Anna would
Wait,
sing
they
to her
really
every
did
time
that
they
jump?
got hoisted
I
up before
suppose.
the fall. And what did she sing? Well, have a listen.
So she was like, going to the chapel and gonna get married.
Emma Roberts is Hollywood royalty, but that doesn't mean that she isn't human just like the rest of us. And when she was young, her stage fright was so bad that she almost didn't land her breakout role as Addie Singer in Unfabulous. She was way too afraid to sing in public. but found comfort in the safety of the film set. Even now, she says she could never do a play or a live musical because she is too nervous to perform on stage.
I was in an episode of Unfabulous.
Dude, was she afraid?
No.
Act near you?
No. She was, I won't say anything.
She was super kind to you and you've remained friends to this day?
Yeah, she totally went out of her way to get to know me.
And she was really big into your appearance on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia and was like a big fan just based off that.
She definitely introduced herself to me, even though she had to knock me over at one point. She made sure to really go out of her way to say, "Hi, I'm Emma." Okay, cool, so how are we doing this? She didn't have a complaint to the stunt coordinator about how she thinks I should just fall on the stairs without ever talking to me directly.
Wow.
But I did do the request she had.
Just because you figured that's what she might want.
I didn't overhear her loudly in front of me without ever looking at me.
Because she respects
so kind of extras and all supporting cast and guest stars and co-stars. I'm sure she's different now.
Yes.
Your mind knows that it's not real, but your body doesn't know that you're not going through something really awful.
Sarah Paulson's real-life fear is so strange and intense that Ryan Murphy actually decided to write it into the storyline of American Horror Story.
What a dick.
In this season, Paulson's character, and Sarah herself, suffer from something called trypophobia, which is actually the fear of small clusters of holes. And while it might sound strange to some of us, it turns out that around 16% of people suffer the same fear.
It's the holes, baby.
That was the episode when I said I'm done watching American Horror Story.
Oh, good one.
Dude, was that first episode that season.
Because you were so scared of her trypophobia.
Yeah, I was like, I can't handle the trypophobia. Has
got
nothing to do with the quality of the filmmaking or writing.
Absolutely not.
Trypophobia, man. That's what it was at.
American Horror Story is always consistent, as is everything Ryan Murphy produces.
Man, what a dick move by Mr. Murphy.
Yeah.
We get a good performance out of her in the best season of American Horror Story.
With this movie, there was one thing that I ended up having to do, but I didn't want to do it.
We usually see Aubrey Plaza as someone who doesn't care what other people think.
And
but
clothed.
Because her character in the to-do list would be seen in all kinds of compromising positions, she was downright terrified. So much so that every single day of shooting brought up a new wave of serious anxiety. Luckily, she was able to rely on the support of her director and castmates to help her get through some of the most adult situations.
I mean, yeah, if you like to do nudity, this thing is like just lives forever now.
Yeah.
That it becomes a Google search.
And it gets clipped and it gets decontextualized and it gets perved on and it gets everything. Yeah. That would be, I feel like, a fear and some type of rite of passage for literally any actor for the most part. Doing a nude scene is intense.
A scene? Oh, I thought she was just generally afraid of taking her clothes.
Oh, of ever being naked.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
I thought that's what they were.
Yeah, Aubrey Plaza showers clothed. She does everything clothed if she can. That's what I have come to know because she's my friend and she tells me this.
I'm moving on now, John.
Please do. Please go. Please move on.
I never will do that again.
For her Oscar-nominated turn in the harrowing movie Cake, Jennifer Aniston had to face one of her biggest fears: going underwater. See, when Jen was only 5 years old, she accidentally drove her tricycle into her family pool and sunk all the way to the bottom. After that, the idea of being submerged in water became her biggest fear.
That's
and it
traumatic.
took her over 30 takes to work up the courage to let herself sink underwater on set.
Wow.
To shoot that scene. Matt Damon. Really.
Matt Damon has played all kinds of action heroes, but it turns out that his biggest fear in the world is snakes. Maybe he should give Indiana Jones a try.
I hate snakes, Chuck! I hate them!
Scarlett Johansson revealed that while filming their heartwarming film We Bought a Zoo, Damon actually cried a little bit when faced with the idea of handling the slithery creatures. But because the kids in the film and ScarJo insisted, he wound up working with the snakes and facing his biggest fear.
My legs didn't work. I was just like,
wow.
Dude.
I have something in common with Matt Damon. We're both action heroes.
Yeah. And now you're both
Oscar-nominated writers and actors.
Yeah, you both are good friends with Ben Affleck.
So much in common.
Dude.
I recently held a snake for the first. Roll that footage. I'm probably looking very similar to how I look now.
This is a little boy. His name is Diego. And this is his mom. Her name is Vanessa.
Whoa. Oh, I'm so terrified. Oh my God, it's so cute.
Oh, it's cute. Hello.
That's a really strange feeling.
Hello.
Feels like a reptile.
I've literally conquered a fear today.
Yeah.
Dude, you should be in this list.
Just seeing that again was like, no, I'm not doing
Never
it.
do it. So you're not gonna Matt Damon it up, go with like 5 snakes next time?
Millions of dollars by Warner Brothers to do that. I'm not doing that.
Even though she gave Matt Damon a hard time for being afraid of snakes, Scarlett Johansson has a funny animal phobia of her own: birds. The actress has said that she really doesn't like their beaks and wings, and the way that they move
That's a
really
bird.
freak her out. But in We Bought a Zoo, she had to overcome her phobia to film scenes around lots of birds. The ones that she refused to go near, however, peacocks.
So when she like drives on the road, and she like, they're out there, man.
Yeah.
They're out there.
Yeah, man. She's living life in a Hitchcock movie. Just, oh no! They're all gonna dive on me at any moment!
Get that away from me.
What is it about?
Paparazzi? No, there's more birds. Birds on the wire over there.
Do you think she has like a traumatic moment every time someone mentions the Peacock app? Because that, like, why the peacock? Why is that the one bird she wouldn't go near?
Peacock app, huh? That's the joke.
That's,
okay.
Yep. I expect a full review of every joke after they're complete.
Don't worry. I won't. There's only one more on this list that day.
So fun working with animals.
Scarlett isn't the only celeb with an aversion to the big winged creatures either. Even though Jake Gyllenhaal didn't go into Prince of Persia with a fear of ostriches, by the time he left, it was a full-on phobia.
Ostrich racing.
The handlers reminded him one too many times not to make noise near the big birds, because they could tear out your eyes and rip out your heart. So, when it came time to film the scene where he is chased by a pack of them, the fear in his eyes was all real.
That sounds like a fear everyone ought to adapt.
If you're about to be set upon by many ostriches, which you've just learned can like gore you to death, like I would be horrified too. Because it's like a bull run, you understand. Like I can see it, the bull, the power, it all makes sense. Whereas an ostrich, you could easily make that mistake of like, I'll be fine.
Boy, how scary. I always thought ostriches were like fun, cute animals.
Nah, they don't bury their heads in the sand until they've run out of options.
For someone who has starred in movies like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Alice in Wonderland, it seems odd that Johnny Depp would be afraid of clowns. But he is.
Have you
The actor
heard of
had
his
to face
ex-wife?
fear while filming both Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Alice in Wonderland. How does he deal with his fear? In the most Johnny Depp way possible, by surrounding himself with clown paraphernalia to ward off the evil. Why not?
Exposure
You
therapy.
know what? If these celebs can face their biggest fears, like Shailene Woodley climbing to the very top of a Ferris wheel, it makes us feel like we can do the same. Though, you know, maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
But we want to know, what is your biggest fear that you would face for your dream job?
It's true. If these celebrities can face their fears, then if I get paid a few $1 million to face my fears, surrounded by a crew of people to provide my safety, I could face my fears too.
It's amazing how much trauma you can overcome at the incentive of millions of dollars and a posh crew whose entire job it is to be there to look after your performance.
That is awesome.
Yeah, man.
I'm sticking my head in a crocodile tomorrow morning.
Yes, do it. Any part.
That's my fear. My head chopped off by a crocodile.
Good, yeah.
Guys, have you ever stuck your head inside of a crocodile's mouth? Leave your thoughts down below. Hey, subscribe to The Things. I really enjoy their list videos a hell of a lot. They're quick, snappy, you don't even realize the transition's coming. Makes it easy for us to edit the way we do our reactions. but no, genuinely speaking, I think what they do are wonderful videos. So, subscribe to them. And hey, let's do a pick. Deontay, we both were feeling doing your name for this. And I'm just more curious to know what John had in mind.
Well, I finally learned what a tongue punch is. And it's something a lot of people would be afraid to do.
Especially on someone's fart box.
But not you, Deontay.
What's a tongue punch?
A tongue punch, it's actually...
Can you explain it in a way that won't get us in trouble?
Well, I assume you probably apply a certain amount of rigidity to your tongue muscles, you know, you activate them, and then you use them to stimulate, you know... areas. And, you know, especially certain areas where fart boxes might be applicable you probably need a punching motion to really get in there because, you know, rimming's big with the kids these days.
I get it, yeah.
So, Deontay, I applaud your courage because a lot of people still are not down with that. And, you know, you're out here loud and proud. And
I mean, I'll tongue punch, I just don't want the fart. I'll tongue punch the box. But not the...
Tongue punch the front box, yeah.
Or the back box.
Or the back box, okay.
I just don't want a fart to have too much.
Yeah. Not right when you're in there.
We kept this PG-13 YouTube, so shut up.
We did everything we could.